Zinedine Zidane is settling into life at Real Madrid just fine if the recent record that he could break is anything to go by. So in the last part of last season, he won 12 consecutive games to push Barcelona right to the wire. And he's continued that trait into this season and now just lies one game shy of breaking Real Madrid's all-time record of winning 15 consecutive La Liga
Whose record would that tie?
Jason?
FC Barcelona. Rivalry!
I think, and then he could go one further and set the all-time record.
And he's got a schedule that's in favor of doing it. So he's not running into an Atletico, a Sevilla, or a Barcelona in that time.
So what this does is this debunks...
Or a Las Palmas.
Las Palmas, the Leicester City of La Liga. This debunks the myth that like managing Real Madrid, there is a further problem that's outside of managerial ability, which, by the way, there could be a case. Florentino Perez isn't the best owner to work under. I don't think that everyday life with Florentino Perez as your boss would be easy. But a lot of people were kind of disregarding Real Madrid, the fundamentals of the team. When Zinedine Zidane came in, it's like, oh, you're just changing the manager. It's not going to fix the problems that are actually there. But it turns out that when you have a manager that believes in his team and doesn't feel that he needs to play into the myth that the Galacticos need to replace players every year and bring in the latest and greatest,
right,
you can't succeed.
So I feel like it was, well, two things. For one, a lot of people were just mad in general when they fired Benitez and signed Zidane, not because they signed Zidane, but because they felt that Carlo Ancelotti should have never have left in the first place, which is very understandable. But number two, with Benitez there, after he left, like, it's always, to me, the step number one in becoming a manager of any club, especially as powerful as Real Madrid, win the locker room. Win the locker room and your job becomes that much easier. It's something that successful managers seem to do. And sometimes they win the locker room by being friendly with the players, you know, really getting to know them. Other managers do it by showing them how they can get the most out of their players. And sometimes guys are out there like, I'm going to use, I guess, Jose Mourinho in this example, that just demand respect.
Yep.
But a lot of that comes on the back of winning. So start winning 12 straight La Liga games to open your career. Winning the Champions League, it makes it a little bit, makes that road less bumpy. Because especially when you're Zidane, you're going to be questioned on every single press conference, win or lose, draw or not, about what went wrong.
Yeah.
Rarely are you going to get the, oh, you're doing a great job, Mr. Zizou. I'm just a reporter here. I'd just like to know, what are you doing that you think is such a great job? No, you're going to get the questions of, well, you won 3-1, you won 5-2, but you did concede 2 goals. What could you do to fix that next time?
Yeah,
which makes sense, and the reporters are smart for asking those questions.
I think you make a great point about Zizou. Is that, by the way, if you're going to tick off the boxes that kind of establish yourself as a manager on the right track, winning winning the Champions League is one. Winning, obviously, 12 games, consecutive games La Liga last season, and winning all your games so far this season. Being the first manager since 2007, I believe, at Real Madrid's helm to win their first El Clasico in charge. Did that as well. Did it very well,
let's keep in mind that he started the season pretty well without a fit Ronaldo.
Yep. I don't like to jump the gun when it comes to managers. I don't. I like to give them ample time to establish themselves. I think that far too often we become rash as managers. Real Madrid fans are the worst, as we know, with Gareth Bale's tomato-plastered car at one point.
It's weird because I feel like I'm patient with managers in general, and this goes across all sports. But there is a point where your patience can grow thin. There's certain teams whose managers have been around for far too long, or that they buy themselves more time. Right? How many times have we seen, probably in world football altogether, that a manager wins a Champions League or a league title or a Copa del Rey of sorts, and, well, that's not a good example for La Liga, but a FA Cup, and it buys them 2 or 3 more years because, well, they brought home a trophy in 2013.
Yeah.
We got to they can do that again in 2016.
Unless, thank God, it's LVG, and he does get a FA Cup, but that's just a nice piece of silverware that he can check himself out.
Yeah, that didn't buy him.
When he heads out the door, he can take a look at my
So, Francis, I want to go to the comment section before asking you 15 more questions about Zizou's managerial style that is making Real Madrid work so damn well. Okay, so prepare yourself. For one, this is our comment section.
Michael Quitano.
When we did, what do you call it? This is when Rafa Benitez was sacked and Zidane took over. It was that week, right?
Calling them out.
All is well for Madrid until they play a decent team. Just wait and see. And I don't mean to call out these specific commenters. I probably should have cried. No, I'm not going to cry out the name. Rafa Benitez won 10-2, but he was sacked. So these are just some of the reaction we had. There's more of it, of course. I'm not, again, We love all our comment section. If your name is here, we appreciate your commenting in general. So let's just roll through these comments because there's a few. Zidane has to win a title, or he'll most likely be sacked. I don't think that was necessarily true. I think even just getting to the semifinals of a Champions League would be true. I could be wrong. Oh! Real Madrid aren't winning anything this season. It will be one La Liga in 8 years come this May. Yeah, they won the Champions League, though, so that's okay. If we don't take them seriously. And Real Madrid should have never got rid of Carlo to start with. That's what I was referring to either before. Somebody else also mentioned, yes, Zidane's here, really to bring out the best in James Rodriguez. Which at the time could have been true.
Yeah,
and in retrospect, it's easy for us to sit here and, if we're poking fun, it's all in good fun.
It's all in good fun, but they're going to poke fun at us if we do the same thing. But again, they're not miracle workers. That's why I often give
they are far from miracle workers.
The managers, I give them credit when credit's due. I will defend them. Jose Mourinho got sacked a year after winning the Premier League for Chelsea, so it often goes both ways. Zinedine Zidane had an uphill task. He's dealt with it phenomenally well. He's won the locker room, as you mentioned. He's discarded of the players that don't buy into what he's there to do. It's like if James Rodriguez doesn't play into the system, doesn't work as hard, doesn't close down as much space as he wants, work as well off the ball, then he's not going to fit into that system. He's given the likes of Asensio preference over a multi-million-pound signing. That is a testament of a good manager that believes in the players that aren't just out there to fill the seats. Florentino Perez, if he was to have his way, would have James starting at left back, would have James starting at right back, would have James playing attacking midfield, would have James playing up top. Because therefore, people would come out to see a guy who's taken Madrid to another market. This is what they do. They like to sign players that can expand them into different markets. James Rodriguez is worshipped in Colombia. And I'm not saying that he's not a good player. But if he's not fitting into the system, Zidane's not just going to play him because he sells tickets.
Which is respectable.
He's going to play players that he knows will fill into the system. Hence why last year, Jesse and Lucas Vazquez was playing a lot more often than not because they were working hard for the team and they believed in what Zinedine Zidane was teaching. So winning the locker room is crucial. Taking control of your team just as crucial. Not making signings just out of the sake of it. And the big thing to take into consideration with Real Madrid is they may even have a transfer ban implied, which may hold them to the players that they have in their squad. Zidane didn't panic. He didn't go out there going, shit, I better go and get all my signings. And it's like people in America when it rains in California and they run out to the grocery store and they're like, give me the rice. I need to stack up. We're going to be in shelter forever. We need to batten down the hatches.
Seriously, though.
Just in
Hydroplaning is a major problem.
Just in case. So, Zidane, we give you the 2 thumbs up and we hope that you do go forward and break that record. And we'll be here to comment on it. TYT Sports. Jason Rubin 91, Francis_Maxwell on Twitter. Francis Maxwell host on Instagram, Jason 91 on Instagram. There's a lot of dogs on our Instagram right now. Jason posted one of his. It was National Dog Day. I posted one of Luna,
puppy.
who has came across the set once in a while. So
12 years ago.
check that out.
My puppy, 12 years ago.
12 years old? Still
12 years
kicking,
ago.
cool?
Still kicking. Still kicking.
That's what I like to hear.